Happy Monday, May the 4th. I hope you all had a great weekend. I hope that some of you who are behind spent a little time of that getting caught up on your assignments. I need to be going through to see which ones you're missing because those are going to affect your grade, and we want you to all have stellar grades. I know you can do it. So just a reminder, make sure you get this in. The abracadabra all had to be done in your spiral. And again, here is the start of those problems. You should have done these in order. I should have said you could have done the original and taken this and put it underneath. It would have given you more room, and then put the answer. Same thing, you could have put this and then taken this part and put it underneath. I'll see if I can get that message out to some of you who didn't think about doing that. But I found I had a lot more room when I did that. In fact, let me see if I can show you where I did that without taking up too much of your time. Yes, it's right here. So again, here is 15. I redid some of these, doing the first part, then moving it here, doing the answer. The N, then doing the leave, change, flip, canceling. And do you see how much more room there is? So if you haven't started 15, you can always go back and look at this and pause and rewrite those. All right. So I'm going to turn now to our next page, which is 16. And it is going to be C67 and C68. So this one is Miss Nerd. Go ahead and mark it. I didn't leave enough room for my A, but 16A. And the next one, which is the monsters, it is 16B. This is the C68. So I don't know how many I'm going to work with you. I will probably give you hints to some of them, because by now you should be able to get the setup on your own. But let's go ahead and start right here. So I will say that on only these, I'll kind of shade them in. On this number 1, on the number 2, on the number 3, and on the number 15. Those are the only problems that you may do right there. Everything else must be done on your lined sheet of paper. In fact, I'll do probably one of them from your lined sheet of paper. So again, on this one, what does that mean? What is 3/8 of a number? Again, you can change that to a multiplication. Make sure that you reduce the 4 and the 8. Cross them out because they would be gone. The 3 and the 9, cross them out and they would be gone. And then find your answer. You may cross off find your answer here. And it says if the answer was K, you'd cross off all the Ks. These kind of drive me crazy because there's so many letters to look through. So if you just want to cross off the letter, that is fine. So I'm going to start with showing you how the work should be done. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to take the number 6. On this one, on 4, 5, and 6. Since there is no check plus to do, this is the only time I will allow you to go ahead and, when you transfer it, to go ahead and do your check plus. So on the number 6, leave, change, flip. So leave, change, and instead of 4 over 15, we're going to put the 15 over 4. And then I'm not going to go across this time because I saw that it was actually much better if I did it right underneath. So is there anything that you can reduce? If you said the 15 and the 20, you are correct. So we're going to divide both of those by 5. This one by 5 is 4. And is there anything else? Can I cross off those 4s? No, because a division line is not separating them. So actually this one's very easy. We're almost done with this. So this comes to 27 over 16, and then we can get our answer, which is 16 goes into that one time, and it looks like I've got 11 left. So 1 and 11 over 16, and I see it right here. If you want to do the puzzle, you cross out all the V's on the bottom. All right, and I'm not going to do any more of these problems. We're going to start right with the word problems. So again, make sure that you leave some space in between your problems so it'll be nice and organized. So on this one, let's see how you do this one. It says, how many acres of corn can he harvest in 10.5 days? Farmer Brown can harvest 2 1/3 acres of corn in 1 day. And then on the second day, he can harvest 2 1/3. And on the third day, he can harvest 2 1/3. And on the fourth day, he can harvest 2 1/3. What do you think you have to do to find out how many acres that he can harvest in 10.5 days? Let's suppose I didn't even have a fraction. Let's suppose that I was harvesting 2 acres a day for 10 days. 2 for 1 day, 2 for another, 2 for another. What would you do? 2 times 10, did I hear that? Well, you are right. It is 2 times 10. So it's actually a multiplication. And it's probably the acres times the number of days. So set that up. I want you to take the whole thing and bring it over to your paper and show all the complete steps on these two. Let me go back mentioning that. On these again, these three, because there is no mixed numbers, on your paper you can transfer it to leave, change, flip, leave, change, flip, leave, change, flip, and then start solving it. On these, you may start, in fact, we will take one of these. Let's take this number 11. On these, what you can do, like the last assignment, there is no room here. So I will not accept it on any of these problems that you have any work. It is going to be a deep discounted grade if you have the work here and I cannot read it. And I'm not going to try to read it because I'm requesting right now that you do it in your spiral. So on this one, again, I can do leave, change, flip, leave, change, flip. So it is going to be, I'm sorry, what am I saying? I can do check plus, check plus. So 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 5 is 21. So let's write that on this number 11. It is going to be, what did I say? 16 plus 5 is 21 over 8. 21 over 8 divided by, let's do check plus on this one. So that's going to be 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. So it's 15 over 4. You cannot do 2 steps at once. You can only do your check plus. So it's going to be, again, 12 plus 3 is 15 over 4. And do I have enough room to do it here? Yeah, and then you can just go ahead and start it. So I think we can have 2 across, no more than 2. So again, what goes into something with, I haven't done my leave, change, flip. It's dizzy division, and that's why I kept that. I can see that I'm missing a step. So actually, I'm going to do it right below this time. 21 over 8, leave, change, and flip. And then, do you see something that we can reduce and make it smaller? The 4 and the 8, you are correct. So it's going to be 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Again, cross those off. It is incorrect work if you do not, because those are gone. We changed it into 1 and 2. And then if I break up 21, it's 3 times 7. Well, there's a 3 in 15. So 3 goes into both of those. So we're going to divide both of those by 3. So 21 divided by 3 is 7. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then what do we do with what's left? If you said multiply straight across, you are correct. And I think this is much better than putting 1 step here, 1 step here, 1 step. It doesn't get so crowded up. So this is going to be 7 over 10. And this is 7 pieces out of a size 10 that we cannot divide that. So you're going to, again, find your answer. And it is right here. And cross that off. So that is going to be 7 over 10. and I need to go a little faster because we've got some word problems to go over. 7/10. All right, so this word problem is, I'm going to draw a picture in the notebook on this one. It says, how many days will it take him to harvest 10.5 acres? Now his total acreage is 10.5 of corn. It says farm, so I'm going to draw that. That is the total. This is number 17. So he's got 10.5 acres. And then it says, Farmer Brown can harvest 2.5 acres per day. 2.5 acres in one day. Now it's, how many days will it take him to harvest his total acreage of 10.5 acres of corn? So this one reads a little bit different. So takes him he can harvest 2 1/3 acre in one day. So in one day he can harvest 2 1/3. In another day, 2 1/3. So that's one day. Here's another day. Here's another day. Well, if I can't multiply to find out the total for that, what do you think you're going to have to do? If you said divide, you are correct. And then, what is being divided up? Is that 2 1/3 being divided up? I hope you said no. It is the total acreage. Some of it's being cut every single day. So again, this goes first and divided by this. And please always, with these problems, set up the original. So this is the number 17. I'll squeeze it over here because I don't have room here. And you should set it up with 10.5 divided by, do not do any check plus here. Please show the whole problem. And then right below you can start your check plus, and then third step would be your dizzy division, and I'll let you finish that up. Let's move on to the other page. So you'll have 8 problems here, and I hope you're getting good at this. So I'm just going to give you some tips on some of these. How much fabric did she use? Well, it says it right here. She used 2/3 of the fabric. Well, let's go back a bit. She bought 3.5 yards of fabric. She used 2/3 of that fabric. What does that mean to do? If you said multiply, you are correct. And again, it should be 2/3 of the fabric that she had. She's not taking 3.5 of the 2/3. So make sure the order is correct. No shortcuts on this. On this page, I'm going to write it really clear. No shortcuts. You must write the full problem. Write the full problem and show all the steps. No shortcuts whatsoever. So again, you should put 2/3 times the 3.5. Then you go ahead and write. Nothing should be changed when you're setting up those word problems. Let's go on. This one. What was the average? What does average mean? If you said divide, you are correct. What's the average time per day? That first word is what they're dividing. We're seeing how much time. We're dividing the time divided by the number of days. So let's see what you're going to do. It says she studied 3.5 hours during the 4 days. Well, are you dividing up the days? No, we're dividing up the time. So how do you think you're going to set this up? Is it 4 days divided by the hours? I don't think so. Think about it. I'm going to let you set that up. Again, this is the key, the time per day. All right. Then some of these are getting easier. I want to wrap it up in about 5 minutes. It says, how high could you jump on Trang? Trang is apparently a planet. It says there's less gravity on the planet Trang than on Earth. In fact, you could jump 2.5 times as high on Trang. It should really say than on Earth. So if you can jump 4 1/4 feet on Earth, How high could you jump on train? 2.5 times as much. Think about what you might have to do. All right. Number 4 with the 16 in it. It says, how many minutes will it take to fill a gas tank that holds 16.5 gallons? Is that part of the tank or is that the whole thing? That is the whole thing. That's the entire tank. That looks like a total. Then it says a gasoline pump delivers 4 2/5 gallons of gas per minute. Again, I'll go ahead and put a little picture here and you can come back to it later. So I'm going to do it right here. And then again, you can do the work by it or save a little spot for it. So on the number 4, the little picture that I would draw for you is, here is the total tank. It's got 16.5 gallons. And then the gas pump delivers 4 2/5 gallons every minute. We're looking for how many minutes. So 4 2/5 is 1 minute. Can we put another 4 2/5? Yes, sure we can. Another 4 2/5 gallons takes another minute, and so on. What am I doing with this total? If you said dividing it up, you are correct. Again, that 4 2/5 is not being divided, so that is going to be your second number. So you can maybe save a little bit of room right here and you do that one. And let's see this one. I think you could do this one. How many strips of this width can be cut? Oh, this is a good one. How many strips of this particular width can be cut? So a piece of plywood is cut. What is being cut? The plywood. That looks like when they're cutting it up, they are dividing it. And what is the exact number that I need each time? I need every strip to be 2.5. So what is not being divided? It is the 2.5. Again, that should be the second number. So again, you're going to put the complete problem with the correct symbols using those two numbers, set it up. Now, I will say, if you get an answer like 7.5, how many strips of that length would there be? I hope you said 7. There's not 7.5. I only have 7 whole strips that size. So watch that kind of remainder. You're not going to use that remainder when you do this problem. Then number 6, we're almost done. How far does it travel with each turn of the wheel? The diameter of a bicycle travels with each turn about 7.5 times the tire diameter. So if I know the tire diameter, guess what I would do? So let's see, the tires on Mike's bicycle have a diameter right here, have a diameter of 24.5 inches. So if it turns 1 time, it says 1 times would be 24.5. 2 times would be 2 times that amount. 3 times would be 3 times that amount. Well, guess if it goes 3 1/7 times. Think about what you have to do. It's kind of clear. Then I'm going to do the hardest one last, which is number 7. So number 9 says, how much sugar is in each brownie? I'm not asking the sugar for 24 brownies. I want the sugar per 1 brownie. That should indicate that, well, I won't say. Okay, so here we go. Sean used 3/4 cup sugar to make a dozen brownies. Well, what do you think? How many are in a dozen? If you said 12, you are correct. So you're going to cross that off, and you're making 12 brownies. Well, this sugar is the total amount for those 12 brownies. So how much sugar is in each brownie? One of the clues is it's sugar per brownie. Your total sugar divided by the number of brownies. And again, the other clue is the total is the sugar. I don't have any room there. I'll put it way up here. The total of the sugar is 3/4 cup. And here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it's this that is being divided up by those 12 brownies. So it's going to be a little bit of amount of sugar for each and every brownie. So you finish it up. Make sure you're setting up with the total first. What is being divided up goes first. Then this is the last one. Okay. So this one says the aquarium holds a total of 6 1/4 gallons. The water level has dropped to 4/5 of that amount. What do you think of means? Okay, and what amount are they talking about? They are talking about that amount. They're talking about 4/5 of the full aquarium, the water in the aquarium. Now, again, I don't want to do, I want you to be independent and figure these out, but I will say on this one, let me draw it over here on a separate sheet of paper, is on this particular one, let's suppose when you do your calculation, and I'm just going to make up a number. So here is the total, 6 1/4. What if after you take 4/5, and by the way, it's not a 1, so I know my answer is going to be less than that. What if after I do my 4/5 of, and again, this is a made up number. What if I get that I've got 4 gallons? Okay. So now I have 4 gallons in there. Again, this is a made up number. All right. So what if I have 4 gallons? Here's the problem on this one. It says how much water should be needed to fill it back up. So that's why this one's tricky. It had 6 1/4. It now has 4. How do you think you're going to find out how to fill it up? I want you to look at this picture. I don't want to tell you each and every one. Think of what you need to do. How much do you need to fill that up? So I want you to think about that. You can pause it, figure it out, and then do it again and set the exact work up on your spiral, because I'm going to have you take a picture of your answers and all the work. So that complete submission has to be made every time you make a submission, is take a picture of your answers on the worksheet and the work that you have done that supports all of those answers. Okay, girls and boys, well, you have a great day, and we will see you on Wednesday.